Hi, this is the Eagle's Nest, and I'm your host, Jeff Porcaro. And today we have with us Corbin Webster from Maple Mountain. And Corbin, go ahead and tell us what sports you do at Maple Mountain, what events you do, and what year you are in school.
Yeah, so I'm a senior this year. I ran cross country in the fall, and I do track and field. My events are the 1600 and the 800.
So, a lot of the distance stuff then. Good.
Oh, yeah.
So, what have you been doing to kind of keep yourself in shape and keep yourself going during this time of not having anything going on?
I've just been running. The nice part about the sport I do is that you can do it. Doesn't have to be an official practice to participate in it. So, just been getting out on runs, meeting with as many of my teammates are allowed to, and just trying to make the most out of this situation.
All right. So, what kind of mileage have you been putting in during this time?
Um, for the past couple of weeks, it's been pretty consistent around 40 to 50 mile weeks. Lately, or these next couple of weeks, there's shorter mileage because we're doing a time trial to at least give ourselves an opportunity to see what we can achieve through the training that we've got. So this week and the next week is a shorter mileage week to prepare for a mile time trial.
That's great. Well, it's good that you're actually doing something that you can go out and
Oh
kind of
yeah,
measure yourself against. That way, it doesn't feel like a total loss.
yeah.
Um, So, a lot of people during this time have kind of spent some time watching movies and doing other things. And I've been asking them the question to a lot of athletes, what is your favorite sports movie and why?
Does Star Wars count?
Sure.
I love Star Wars. That's kind of nerdy, but it's awesome just because like it shows kind of how the Jedi control themselves in intense situations, and kind of like as athletes, we all are in intense and crazy situations, and it requires a lot of control, self control, and confidence in ourselves. Kind of what the Jedi do.
That's awesome. So I've kind of been binge watching a lot of the Clone Wars, trying to
Oh yeah,
pick up the whole stories in between the first couple series there. So that's funny that you
yeah.
bring that up. So good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. So talking about sports and movies and other things, who would you say is kind of a figure out there, whether it's high school, college, professional? Who do you look up to as a sports hero or a sports figure?
Um, Probably honestly, Coach Andrus, the our coach that we have. He's a great guy, and he's taught me so much, not only about the sport I do, but about life, and given me lessons that'll help me throughout the rest of my life. And he's been a super huge inspiration for me to keep going and keep running.
That's great. And Coach Andrus is a great human being. So
Oh
he's
yeah,
he's definitely a great distance guy as well. So
yeah,
I bet you guys have put a lot of miles in together.
oh yeah. It's been fun.
That's great. So when you're getting ready to compete, I know a lot of times you'll do warm up runs and other things to kind of get into the zone and get ready for
Yeah.
whether it's a cross country meet or whether it's a 1600 or other events that you're doing. What do you do to kind of get into the zone when you're getting ready and how you kind of get rid of the butterflies?
Um, I have a routine that starts really, really early. Early as like probably hours, like even sometimes days before the race. The day before the race, I'll go on an easier run, not as quick or as intense. After that, I'll usually stretch and then eat something that I'm used to eating, whether it's like pasta or something. And then the night before, I always make sure to get in a good stretch, lactic acid drain, put my feet up, and kind of relax and make sure that I get a good night's rest that night. And then depending on when the race is, if it's a morning race, I love morning races a lot better. I'll usually get up probably 3 hours early before the race starts and get in a good jog or a easy run, maybe like 10 minutes, and then I get on the bus, have a good time with my teammates, and then we get to the meet. I get on a warm up, do some drills, and then get on that line. And as soon as that gun goes off, I know that all the training I've put in will carry me through that race, and I have nothing to worry about.
That's great. And you talk a little bit about having fun with the teammates on the bus and
Oh
kind
yeah.
of having that opportunity. What else do you and your teammates do to make the practices and all those miles of workouts fun?
Oh man, I love hanging out with my teammates. It's a good group we have there. We work hard together, we joke around together and have fun, and they're super big source of motivation and inspiration for me. We're all super close with each other, and um, definitely the relationships that we've made will last longer than high school. We work hard together. We help each other when we're going through the good times. We're up happy with each other. When we're going through slumps or dips, we're working hard to get out of those and just continuing to motivate each other, especially in times like these. Continuing to run with each other and help each other out.
That's great. You kind of talk about the ups and downs and all of that throughout the time. What would you say was kind of one of your favorite memories through all those ups and downs throughout high school?
Um, Probably this year when we took a team trip to Arizona to do our the Nike Cross race down there. That was super fun. We spent a lot of time together. Um, we spent a lot of time in someone's house before a couple days before the race, and it was super fun to spend the time with them and then go and race on a beautiful course down in Arizona. November. It was so awesome, and that was definitely one of the best moments, better memories I've had.
Okay. And when you talk about, you've probably been at this for a while. When did you start running and kind of realize, hey, this is something I want to keep doing?
Um, it's I've in elementary school I did like fun runs and stuff, but it was really seventh grade. I had a friend, Jackson Adams. He runs for Springville. He really got me into it. Got me started track in seventh grade, and ever since then I've been running and had more and more people help me continue this. But it was the really seventh grade I started because of Jackson.
Okay. And you kind of talked a little bit about this, and it may end up being the same place, but where was your favorite place that you've ever competed?
Um, Probably for cross country down in Arizona. For track, I mean, all the courses are basically the same 400-meter track. However, during indoor, we last year we headed up to Pocatello, Idaho for Simplot. There's the poster right there for the Simplot games. That was a super fun track race. 200-meter wooden track, banked turns. That was definitely one of the better places to compete.
And doing distance there has got to be a killer because you're ending up, having to do a lot of
Oh
laps.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've actually spent a lot of time up there at the Idaho State Holt Arena. Um, whether I went with my kids when they were doing track up at Simplot, so I've actually done some photography up there, and then
Yeah.
I've actually been up there with my kids during their indoor collegiate season as well. And so this year, that's where the Big Sky Conference had their indoor championship, and I actually
Hmm.
was up there shooting photos for Southern Utah. So
That's awesome.
anyway, a lot of fun, and I love watching the runs on that track
Uh,
because it, big bank turns, all just like you described it. So
it's awesome.
yeah, as we talk about all of these things, what are you kind of looking to do after high school?
Right after high school, I'm gonna serve a mission. I got my call. I'm going to Chile, Santiago. I'm excited for that. When I get back from that, probably start school at UVU. And I think it would be really fun to run in college, but we'll see whether it's for a school or maybe getting sponsored, but we'll see. I'm not quite sure based on the circumstances right now if that's necessarily a possibility, but I think for the most part, school and then work to get into med school.
That's awesome. That's great, and I hope you luck in all those future endeavors.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the last things that I want to kind of ask you is, you're a senior, you're coming on the end of your high school career. You've had a lot of activities and work and everything else. What would the words of wisdom or advice be that you would have for your teammates or those who are following behind you?
Um, Probably make sure you're consistent in your work. Don't just keep the work consistent, keep practice consistent. Um, Improvement doesn't happen the next day. It takes a long time, and make sure to cherish the relationships you have, make new relationships, and grow closer with each other, and just enjoy the time you have out there because it comes to an end quick.
That's great advice. Thanks for sharing that. I want to thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I was happy to do it. It's been a really fun journey, and I can't wait to see where I'll be next.
That's great. So we've been talking with Corbin Webster, a Maple Mountain cross country and track athlete, and we want you all to make sure that you're following along all of our social media. We have YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, all Maple Mountain Sports, one word. And we have Twitter is Maple MTN Sports. We'd like you to, follow us, like us, subscribe to us, all of those fun things, so that we can make sure that you keep up with these great athletes at Maple Mountain, and you'll continue to see information and more sports related activities. So again, I'm your host, Jeff Porcaro, and this is the Eagle's Nest.